Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. If you'll stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we will follow that up with a moment's silence for all those who in California who are dealing with the tragedy out there with the fires. So, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, continuing. First up is the citizens' concerns about items not on tonight's agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to approach and speak to the council? Seeing none, we will move on with the consent agenda. We have on their consent agenda the minutes of the December 16th City Council meeting, minutes of the January 2nd, 2025 special City Council meeting, claims for city operations, and a massage therapy business establishment and massage therapist license for Whitney McTech at Bonner Springs Integrated Health. Is staff wish to have anything polled? Citizens wish to have anything polled? Council? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Shannon and a second by Ms. Blanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. On to new business. Ordinance to adopt changes to Chapter 7 Fire, Article 1, Fire Department of the Code of Ordinances. Staff?
Mayor and Council, Tim Richards, Fire Chief. I'm sure as you reviewed this, you saw that the ordinance was quite old. And this I don't want to make it longer than it needs to be. This is simply just updating that to reflect the business that we're doing today as a full-time paid fire department. And I'd stand for any questions.
Is there anybody from the public wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, I would accept a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adopt an ordinance to amend Chapter 7 Fire, Article 1, Fire Department of the Code of Ordinances.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Blanks and a second by Ms. Long. We'll start down there with you, Mr. Shannon. Any comments, questions?
Nothing. Thanks, Chief, for all you do and making it simple.
Nothing.
Nothing here, but thank you for everything you do, Chief. Appreciate it. I know the weather here, too, has been kind of challenging.
It's been a little bit of a challenge.
Yes, sir.
No questions. Thanks for all you and your department do.
No questions, thank you.
Just real quickly, I want to thank the staff for some of that information that you got to me before on Thursday. So I was able to use a couple of those numbers when presenting down at the UG, and that for once we are actually on the edge of actually providing more services than we took. So thank you very much. So if there's no other comments or questions, I would go ahead and call for the vote.
Gurley?
Yes.
Shannon? Long?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and we're on to the city manager's report.
Amber Vogan, interim city manager. I want to thank the snow crew and all of Public Works and the parks crew for everything they've done to respond to the storms that we've had. They were definitely challenging, and it was Matt's first weekend as interim Public Works director, so I think he did a great job being thrown into it like that. The chamber annual dinner, I'm sure Emily will give us some more information, but it's February 28th. If you'd like to RSVP for the city table for that, you can either let me or Chris Brake know. We'll have a meeting here in the council chamber on Monday, February 3rd from 4 to 7 p.m. to discuss all of the parking downtown. There's more information in your packet about that, and there was a letter that went to all the downtown stakeholders. That's also in your packet. And then one more thing that's in your packet are the trash survey results that we sent out to the public so that you can kind of review those in ahead of having a meeting with Waste Management to further discuss. And we are working on getting them scheduled for a meeting.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll go ahead and out to council items, and we'll start down here with you, Mrs. Long.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who had to work during the snowstorms and got our roads cleaned safely, et cetera. Yeah, that's all I have for today.
Ms. Banks.
Yes, our banquet is on Friday, February 28th at the Fuel House, starting at 5 p.m. and we'll go till 10 p.m. We're changing some things up this year. We're really excited. I think last year the city had like 20 employees come, which was amazing and a lot of fun. So please come out if you haven't been. We have a really great time celebrating the community and chamber members. Also, thank you to Matt and the entire Public Works team. I think that was a great gift from Frank. So I'm sure you guys had a great time. I mean, I live in downtown Bonner, and it was just incredible. I mean, you guys were out and about. I could hear you at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then Monday, not even within 24 hours of the blizzard ending, you guys were already in downtown removing snow to make sure that our businesses could be up and operational on Tuesday after working several 24-hour shifts and making that happen. And then back at it again when we got that additional snow later this week. I also just want to say that for the first time, you know, in the last 5 years of being incredibly ingrained and involved in this community, of just how let down and disappointed I am by a handful of residents who found it appropriate to go online to bash our city employees and call for resignations and be incredibly disrespectful, bullying, and rude, when all day, every day, we teach our youth at the high school to not act and talk that way and to have more common courtesy and understanding when, according to one of our meteorologists, since 1888, we haven't had more than 12 inches of snow in less than 24 hours. And after talking to neighboring communities who have seen what Bonner's snow removal team did, that we are at the top of the list who worked incredibly hard to make sure that our highways, which we have 3 that run through Bonner, our highways and our main arteries of our streets were cleared. And I thought they did a really great job. And it's just incredibly frustrating. And on top of that, I always see that people are upset that council doesn't comment on Facebook posts. And so when I actually take the opportunity to comment on a Facebook post, I'm then blocked from that group because they didn't like what I have to say. So besides being a completely unserious group of people that I know doesn't necessarily affect how I feel, but I have a problem when I have individuals who are in every corner of this community who show up and dedicate their lives to service in their community, who call me or text me incredibly upset, that's when I have a problem. Because that's why there's so many people in this community who say, I don't know how you do it, I would love to step up and serve, but people are incredibly cruel, and I think I hold our community to a higher standard. So to those people, including this empty room, a lot of people have a lot to say, but can't have the courage or get the give a damn to actually show up to meetings. So to the people who are watching this, if you really care or have an opinion, please come to the meetings, act like a civilized adult and have conversations with us. Or if you're not happy about a service, be respectful and reach out to our incredibly hardworking city staff and voice it, and don't be trolls on Facebook. Like I said, for the first time, I'm incredibly disappointed in our community while we're watching our friends to the west and those entire communities burn to the ground. And we have a great community here, and people, I think, just take it for granted. And I, once again, just want to remind everybody, we do have a great community of leadership of everyone in this room. And I just thank you all for your passion and dedication and setting a good example. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blanks. Mr. McMahon?
It's hard to follow that. Jeez.
Well, I can skip it for now and come back.
Yeah, I know, right? Emily, I love you. Matt, yeah, you guys, well, everybody, I mean, first responders and and I know how they had to get out. We got some serious weather, right? And I couldn't tell, but I'm pretty confident a lot of people stayed home, like Sunday into Monday. And I even, with my business, I took my guys off the grid for a day to let the public works get caught up with stuff. I will say this on a side note. After they made their initial plow in my neighborhood, that was sufficient. And I love the fact that I didn't have to go back out and move snow a second time in front of my driveway. So I only had to do it once. And it's the little things in life. But thanks. And, we always pray for the protection of everyone that's out there. And you guys, if it's really bad, you have issues with staffing, right? If people they don't have the vehicles to get out, so you got to figure out ways to go pick them up and all that. So you had a lot of challenges and stuff. I'm sure everyone did for the most part. And then on a different note, I was at Chipotle over in Shawnee, and I ran into two of our local police officers and had a chance to converse with them. And they made me aware of the fact that the guy that manages the Holiday Inn, someone had went out, they couldn't make it home, so they needed a place to stay overnight. They accommodated police officers, even extended the accommodation to Edwardsville police officers, that they could stay overnight at the Holiday Inn at no expense. I personally went up to the Holiday Inn as I put on my council member hat, and thanked them for what they had done. And I said, kudos to Holiday Inn for facilitating people, and I just think they're a great part of our community, from my understanding.
They just joined the chamber.
They just joined. Woo! Good stuff. But anyway, my hat goes off to everyone that had to be out in that nasty stuff.
Thank you, Mr. McMahon. Ms. Gurley?
I can't add anything more, so nothing from me.
Mr. Shannon?
Yeah, thanks. I totally agree with what's been said, and it's unfortunate that we have a few frequent flyers that think that they know when they really don't. I know that we've thanked first responders and stuff, and there were mentioned public works and everything like that, but I have yet to hear one negative thing that has ever been said about the snow and our fire, police, first responders, EMTs, and public works. It's been great, and when we think about something that may not be right, or it may offend us a little bit and stuff like that, and it was mentioned earlier about the families out in California. They have nothing, and somebody is sitting here complaining about, the street. So anyway, tell everybody, please pass that on to the police department, fire department, EMTs, everybody, how much I appreciate that, and my wife also, and everybody else, because the things we haven't heard are the compliments. We just sometimes hear the negatives, and right now the compliments are far above. You guys did great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shannon.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
I just
yes.
thought of something.
Yes, go for it.
Amber, is the trash poll closed, or are they still accepting responses?
It is closed, but if you guys would like, I can open it back up.
I was just curious. I didn't want to publicize it if it's not available.
Oh,
Thanks.
and if they still want to submit comments, we'll still take them and add them to what we have.
Yes, I would be remiss if I also did not put out my appreciation to Public Works. They did a wonderful job, considering it was 16 inches of snow. I like how somebody said, well, they know how to do this up north. Well, give us 3 or 4 inches, and you'll find people down in Texas who'll go, we're completely shut down because of 3 or 4 inches. So, no, I think the staff did a wonderful job. And I believe sometimes people just assume it's an easy job just sitting in a truck, and it comes with its own stress, 12-hour days, working overnight, as well as the fact that there is safety concerns, and all we have to do is look to our neighbors directly to the east of us over in Missouri who lost one of their public service employees due to an incident involving the snow removal. So I very much appreciate the efforts of all the public work, as well as some of our staff who, even though we closed offices down on Monday, many of our staff members who were able to perform and conduct business from their homes continued to do so. So I appreciate their efforts as well. In conjunction with that, what Mr. McMahon has said, I was wondering from the city if we could maybe send a letter of appreciation to them for having done that, provided that service to our employees. I appreciate that. Holiday Inn. I also want to mention that Commissioner Chuck Stites reached out to me last week, and there was some additional funding available in the Community Benefit Fund. Wanted to know if we could make some money, if we could find some uses for about $2,500. I immediately reached out to Ms. Vogan, who reached out to the rest of the staff, and we got a letter off to them, and we received from the Unified Government via Commissioner Stites an additional $2,500 that we're going to use on some different functions, some additional bike racks, help with the tennis open house that we put on in the spring. The aquatic, we're going to have some life jackets, help invest in some life jackets at the aquatic park, as well as at the library of things for health and mental health. So I want to give a kudos to Commissioner Stites for having thought of us and made sure that we were taken care of out here. Next Monday is the Martin Luther King ceremonies. Myself, along with Mayor Cahart from Edwardsville, will be doing a proclamation. All the public is invited, and that is from 1 to 2 at the First Christian Church. And then last but not least, I had to speak down at the UG on Thursday evening. And during the course of that, one of the things I talked about was the sci-fi funding. The 5 commissioners that were there, unfortunately there were 5 that were not, but of 4 of the 5 that were there, voiced their opinion that they want to see the sci-fi come back. So that's no guarantee, but hopefully in the 2026 budget, there will be some form of the sci-fi coming forward. So, and with that, I would open to any questions. If not, I would accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Shannon, a second by Ms. Blank. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.